Stop the doom scroll. If you're like me and you're addicted to your phone, I'm going to share some tips on how I cut my screen time completely in half. Number 1, and most obvious, and probably the hardest to hear, delete the apps. Delete them. Goodbye. Sayonara. See you later. You do not need all of the social media apps on your phone. Now, I didn't delete TikTok at first because I wouldn't have been able to get it back, and that's just, me being afraid that and not committing to this fully. But since I've done that, it has been back in the App Store. I still haven't deleted it, but I have not been on TikTok for over a week now, and I am extremely proud of myself for that. But I do not have Snapchat on my phone. Instagram is on there, but I have not been on it. It's blocked. Facebook is not on my phone. X is not on my phone. I don't care about that app anyways. I have to get on there sometimes for work, but it's kind of a toxic mess. The only one I do have is Pinterest, which I'm thinking about deleting that one as well because I do find myself scrolling on it, but I don't feel negative when I do, so I'm a little conflicted on that one. All of the apps that are on my phone need to be tools, productivity. I have news apps on my phone. I work in media. I have to have them. And so I just personally think that there's no reason to have all of these on our phone all the time. We don't need to be completely connected every single minute of the day. If you need to access them and you're not trying to do like a cold cleanse of social media, you can access it on your computer or another device. Take that for what it's worth. Think about what you're actually doing and how much time you're spending on that. Go look at your screen time and see what apps you're most using and reevaluate your relationship with those and see if you can delete them. It doesn't have to be forever, but just give yourself the challenge of not having access to them and not having immediate access to them. Now, if you can't delete, there are apps out there that will block those apps. And I'm talking about screen time use apps that are not just the built-in ones for iPhone. Android, I'm sure, has them too, but I have an iPhone, so that's what I can speak to. But I have no self-control with the iPhone screen time, and I just bypass it because it makes it so easy. So I have some words for Apple. Please update that. Maybe give us like a 3-strike rule, like you can bypass it 3 times and then you're locked out. That'd be great. But no, I have no self-control because you just hit ignore, 1 more minute, ignore. It doesn't work for me. It does not work for me at all. So there's a couple of apps. Right now I'm using Opal. That one is paid. I did do a 2-week free trial and I ended up just paying for it because it is significantly helping me reduce my screen time and not get on the apps that I do still have on my phone because they're completely blocked. I think Instagram I'm allowed to like go in and bypass it, but TikTok I cannot do that. And I haven't needed to do it for Instagram either. So I'm very proud of myself for that. Opal's one. Off screen is another that I've used in the past that I really liked as well. You can still bypass it, but you do have to go a few steps to do it. So it's not like as immediate. And so I just find when you have a few steps or hills to climb to get onto something, you may just realize, oh, I don't need to actually get on it. It was just me like having a craving essentially. So that's my first tip. Delete, block. You don't need it. Just take it off. Tip number 2, create an automation for your phone to go into grayscale. I think it's around 8 o'clock every night that my phone automatically goes into grayscale. And the way you do this is you set an automation in Shortcuts. This is for iPhone as I'm speaking, to turn on color filters. I'll share a screenshot of what that looks like in the shortcut setting. If you want me to make a more in-depth video on how to actually do this, I can. It's also on Google. That's how I figured out how to do it myself. Turning on grayscale essentially just makes your phone less interesting. It can also remind you like, oh, okay, it's time to get off this app. It's time to put the phone down and grab a book instead. It does make it less interesting, and I find when the grayscale comes on for me, if I am on my phone, I just don't really like using it as much. When grayscale turns on, your phone is less stimulating, and it makes your phone less interesting. Therefore, you may not want to look at it as much. This may work for some and not others, but it does help me. It doesn't solve the problem completely. Number 3, this one seems obvious as well, but this is what works. Turn off all non-urgent notifications. Whatever you do not need to look at, notifications are off. And I don't need to hear the excuse, I have to have it on for work. You can set focus modes, iPhone specific. I know Android can do this as well. Set a focus mode that you allow these apps to notify you when you're at work or during these specific hours. Then that focus mode turns off when you leave or when the time is up, or it switches to another focus mode that restricts it even more. And I do this. I have during my work hours, I'm allowed to have, like, obviously all my work apps like Teams, any news organizations that I follow can notify me, because obviously I need to know about breaking news as well. And my messages, my email, all of that is allowed when I'm at work. And then when I get home, it shifts into, I have two different modes. One is called Cut the Chaos, and that quiets it where I don't have as many apps, and then I have another one that's personal where it's only text and phone calls that can come through. And this specifically helps a lot because you don't have to think about it. Your phone just shifts into it. One thing I'm trying to figure out though is I still do get notifications in the notification center when I have these focus modes on. So sometimes if I open the notification center, I'll still see things, but I'm not getting notified immediately, and it's not making me grab my phone constantly because you're getting that notification. And if you don't have to have any notifications on at all, don't. I don't think they're necessary. I think I always stay involved in the world. Like, yeah, if there's breaking news, I would turn on maybe one local station or sign up for texts for that station to stay informed. Turning off notifications puts you back into control for you to pick up your phone and use it when you want to, instead of it controlling you by buzzing and making you get distracted. Tip number 4, my last tip: find something to do with your hands. This, I think, is the root to why I'm always on my phone. I feel like I always have to be like this and just have something to do, and just, even if I'm not doing anything, I just need to be doing something with my hands. So make a list of different things that you could do that involve using your hands so you're distracted. One thing, pick up a book. This is the one that I'm reading right now, along with 3 others that I've started and have not finished. But this is the self-help book that I'm reading right now. I have a few others. But pick this up, because when you're using your hands, you're not able to use your phone. And when I read, sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to check my phone. Like, no, you don't. You don't need to check your phone. If something crazy is happening, you're going to get a phone call, most likely. And it'll go off, and that's important, and you can allow that in. But yeah, use your hand. Another one, play an instrument. I started playing guitar, and that I will start practicing guitar, and hours go by, and I don't even look at my phone, and I don't even know that the time has passed. I'll sometimes either use my phone or iPad to watch a lesson online or some sort of tutorial, but I am not distracted by it. I'm learning, and I find that to be so productive. So playing an instrument like guitar, 10 out of 10 recommend that. It's great. Knitting. I don't knit, but that sounds fun. Hold a cat, pet a dog. I don't know. All of these things. Color. You could put on some music or even an audiobook and color. Use your hands. Just get your phone out of your hands and find something else. May I also suggest you go outside. Go outside and smell the air. It's a little cold where I'm at right now, so it's not the natural thing that I do, but I'm afraid of the outside, and so that's something that I'm going to be challenging myself to do. Go for a walk. And I always take my phone with me because I'm afraid I'm going to die. But if you can challenge yourself and go out without your phone, that's a good challenge. Or just maybe get a flip phone or something. Go with somebody else who has a phone and don't take yours. But that's the focus mode can come into that as well. But if you don't have any distracting apps, you're not going to need to get on your phone. So circling right back to number 1, I can also suggest that you can use your phone to call a friend and then go hang out with that friend. Go get dinner. Talk to somebody in person instead of through a screen. If you're a photographer, videographer, go out and take pictures. Go shoot. And one thing, if you want to reduce your screen time, you have to go edit those. Do instant photography. If you have a Polaroid camera or something like that, that's the best gift I've ever received, because it reminds me to think and slow down when I'm taking photos, and I don't have to edit them because they just print out. It's been about a week since I've deleted most apps that are distracting off of my phone, and I have felt so much better, and my mind has been so much more peaceful. I have had to slip up a little bit and get on Facebook on the computer. The first time I did it this week was because of breaking news, and that was kind of a personal reason, but it was also because of my job. And I just wanted to know what was going on. And then I got on it again the next day because I was being asked about it, and I was curious to know if there was more information that I would find through community instead of just official releases. So that was one reason. There was also a press conference that I was trying to find that I did end up going to Facebook to watch a small part of it. And then today I got on because I was trying to just check if a post that I had scheduled for a podcast I do had made it online. Did I need to do that? No. I have not been getting on social media for personal reasons at all. Did I check my notifications? Yeah, I did. But I got right off of it after that, and I feel fine. And I feel like everybody needs to, when they do cleanses or detoxes or whatever, you got to take it at your own pace, or else you'll just set yourself up for failure. That's what happens with like New Year's resolutions. If you just set too many goals too fast and you just want to go cold turkey on everything, a lot of the time it doesn't last. But if you do it slowly and take it day by day, I do find that to be successful. And now it was a little bit difficult when I first deleted Snapchat and when I blocked TikTok. I still have TikTok on my iPad, by the way, that I have full access to. I have not even thought about getting on it once. And I think that after you get past the first couple of days without that like need to just like check the phone and click on it, you don't think about it. And I noticed that TikTok was the loudest one out of them all that I really needed to scale back on. So like I have not scrolled TikTok in over a week. That sounds so stupid, but it's bad out there. And it was so loud, and I'm so proud of myself. And I feel like the time that I've gotten back for myself is the time I'm using to make these videos and to read and do all these other things that I've wanted to do. And I'm still working on it, but I feel much better. And people may be wondering, oh, I'm still seeing you post videos. I'm using an external website to schedule out my posts, and it goes to my pages. And then the times that I have gotten on Facebook while I've checked for other things, yeah, I would just do like a quick share to my personal account because my page doesn't get any traction because I never use it. So I just decided that it was fine to do that. But I'm making my own rules. The overall goal is to calm down my mind, quiet the noise, and just remember to create. We'll be trying to put out another vlog maybe by the end of this weekend to give some Thomas updates. If he was in here, I would show you him, but I don't know. He might be taking a nap. But I have a few plans this weekend. I'll try to film that, and maybe by the end of the weekend, if I have time, I'll share another vlog. No promises. Maybe it'll be next week. I'm not making massive commitments. It's giving me life to kind of create things for myself, because I feel like I was just creating for other people for so long, and now I'm just taking initiative to just do things for myself in that way while I try to manage all these things going on in my life. But I'm dedicating like an hour today to make this video, and it's great. It's so much better than scrolling on TikTok for an hour and just wasting my brain cells. But social media is addicting. I grew up without it as a child, and then it came into my life, maybe junior high school. Loved it, was obsessed with it. I loved YouTube. I loved everything about it. And then I got so burnt out with it that I hated it. So now I'm trying to find that middle ground of enjoying and seeing the benefits of it without being stuck to it all the time, over consuming. Best of luck out there. I'll keep updating as time goes on, and I will see you in whatever my next video is.